God, trash.
Yeah.
Trash is the most beautiful thing in the world. DUMPTRUCK work is, it's all fiber art, and all specifically found fiber. We work in a lot of different, like, various, like, bright colors to try to make these little, like, vignettes of cities in the Midwest. A lot about...
I would say a lot of our work is inspired about how the Midwestern landscape kind of piles on top of itself, especially with the hills of Cincinnati. Like, I love whenever you're looking out at the horizon and you have like a school, then the back of a McDonald's, then a billboard for Blake Maslin, and then like trees, you know, and I love that. I love feeling kind of, it feels like you're under a blanket or something.
Yeah, it's sort of a like brighter depiction, like sort of our lens of where we grew up.
Yeah. Well, we're both queer, we're both trans, so a lot of that kind of influences the way that we see our community, and I think that that background kind of gives us a appreciation for like the kind of underappreciated landscapes and weird little areas, because like that's where a lot of, you know, people like us, freaks like us, like to hang out.
I also think, like, again, sort of like being queer in a space where maybe like queer people aren't as like visibly represented. Like, obviously queer people are everywhere, but sort of having to like carve your own little niches and like find your own little communities. Like, I think that's a lot of like us literally like creating our own actual spaces. Yeah, just sort of an interpretation of that.
Like our next project, we're talking about like building like a nest with like fabric walls and like soft ceilings and things, specifically because I feel like our art is all about like creating comfortable places.
Yeah, we want to make a safe space for people. We want people to feel like they can like play and live in our art.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, we like to think about themes of like the Midwest, our city where we grew up. And, you know, we're not like outsiders coming into that. Like, both of us were born here, lived here our entire lives. So it's like really important for us to like hear and see how other people view this community that we really love. So, you know, having people come make their own little homes in our space, literally inviting people to like, yeah, create these little safe spaces with us.
Yeah, I think in the same way that we appreciate the Midwest and all of its like kind of like close comfortability, I think we wanted to encourage people to see that and to see the Midwest through our eyes, because I feel like the Midwest is always kind of like the butt of people's jokes, like, oh, Ohio's so boring, like it's the worst state, but genuinely like I love it here and I want people to see that and to appreciate that, and I think that this work does that. I think it invites people to celebrate where they're from.
Yeah, that's another thing I think also about making like plush sculptures and things like out of found material is there's a lot of avenues of like familiarity, and hopefully these like kind of like soft squishy shapes that we make people feel like they can play with our stuff. I would love for people to kind of take more time to like view their surroundings, if that makes sense. Sort of a like, I guess that no landscape, nothing that you're around is actually uninteresting. There's like really strange and infinite beauty in like every corner of every city that anyone's ever lived in, whether it be like a lamp post to a power line to a Blake Maslin sign, if you will.
Or like a crumpled up like skyline bag next to like a cemetery.
Oh my God, trash.
Yeah.
Trash is the most beautiful thing in the world.
Don't litter.
I feel like.
I would probably cite a lot of like musicians as well as other artists in the community. Matt Lynch, Denise Burge, Llewellyn Fletcher, Amanda Carreri. Those are all people that have influenced my work specifically.
I think something, maybe not like specific artist, but just movement in general, and something that I think is like coming back in a really cool way is just like craft and like more craft culture.
Quilt making,
Quilt
stuff
making,
like that.
but also like people kind of making stuff from things they already have rather than maybe like, I don't know, buying work new. Yeah, the arts and crafts movement is like a huge impact in my work, especially mostly being crochet. When I was like a little bit of a younger artist, I think I would get like frustrated about not being able to make exactly what was always in my head. Or like just like my work wasn't translating exactly like what I wanted to say, but I think that's a good thing because I think all that means is that usually you're a young artist with really good taste, and all you need now is like then the skill to back up that taste. So just like keeping refining that.
And on a similar note, I would say like whenever I was first learning like traditional art making things, I had this whole notion about like real art in my head. So very like I really only did like oil painting, or you know, like if I did fabric art, I was trying to make like a quilt or something like that was very adherent to the rules. And my best advice is like break the rules, have fun. Like if you're not playing when you're making art, I feel like the art you're making is probably boring. Generally, there's some people that take their art very seriously that I really enjoy, but I think that generally like play around, have fun. Like if you're not having fun, you know, I feel like you're probably not tapping into like your truest potential as an artist.
Yeah. No, if you had told me like 2 years ago that I was going to be making work that looked anything like this, I would have definitely not believed you. Like, I think this is, yeah, you're right, such a departure from like what I think both of us used to do. And I think both of us are a lot better for it.
Yeah.